Oh, wait a minute.
All right.
Oh, snap.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, man? What's going on? How y'all doing tonight? How y'all feeling, man? It's Monday. It's been a long mother effing day for me, but thank God I'm here in my life. How about y'all, man?
It's been good, brother. Been good. Living life, you know what I mean? Breathing.
Exactly.
About to have a lot more fun right now.
Exactly, man. I've been looking forward to this all day, man. I've been talking to all three of y'all. If you want to be for Backwoods, I forgot to send everybody the link tonight. He texted me, hey, man, I sent you some stuff. You know what I'm saying? But let me just say hello to the wonderful community tonight, our chat. See what we got up in here tonight. True American Loretta, appreciate you, sis. Keto, Homestead with Jess. What's going on? Joe Morgan, what's going on? Carmen Gizzy, Just Josh, fam, what's going on?
Fam. Press one.
Press one. Green Thumb Prepper in the house. What's going on with you? Tammy C. Hey, sis. Val Willman. Lori's World. She says this is her first setup. Welcome, sis. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you get something out of it. It's all about having a good time and just being who we are and learning from each other. Debbie Sims, what's going on with you? Tiger, what's up? Spotted Fawn. Lisa. Harry. Hello. Bug Dude in the house. Bug Dude said he's listening, but he's also watching the skies because SpaceX is supposed to be re-entering the atmosphere with a fireball or something. Let us know how that goes. Leslie, Ghost, my brother.
Ghost.
Y'all better behave, man. Ghost is here and he will haunt you. Georgia Peach, what's going on with you? Willie D, what's up? Hoot out, there he is. What's going on, brother? Doom 3-year dude, 1995. What is going on? I haven't seen you in the chat before, but welcome. Hope you have a good time tonight. Alley Cat already said hey to you, sis. As you guys see, tonight we have a special edition. I'm calling it the Setup All-Stars, and this is just folks who have already been on the show. And what we're going to do tonight is we have some specific scenarios. Backwoods has given he's come up with a great one. He's the guest host tonight. Thank you for coming on, brother. I just want to give you respect, man. Thank you for taking this show seriously and for really going the extra mile to give us a good scenario tonight. And a good setup. I got your videos ready to go, ready to download them, man. I didn't pay attention to them. I told Backwoods just backstage. The only thing I know about his scenario is something about Arizona, something about a picnic, and something about a Chinese airplane. I don't know what else is going on because the way we're going to do it tonight, Backwoods, we're going to do his scenario first, and then me, Tribe, and MOTB are going to we're gonna discuss it and figure out how we would do it together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, well, we're gonna build off each other. Like, we'll go a round table, and then we're gonna do POTBs, and do it the same way. We're gonna go around, and then I have one, and Tribe does too. But if we have time, we'll get to those. But I have a guest tonight, a surprise guest who's gonna come on later on. And he has one. He has a real world one, something that happened to him, and he's going to share that with us.
He gonna sneak in, or she gonna sneak in?
Yeah, exactly. Tiptoeing in. Ragnarok, what's going on, brother? Monique's in the house. TT1's in the house. Star Pepper's in the house. Nisi Tribe's in the house. Man, Nisi Tribe's here.
Hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. Let's get this out there, folks.
No doubt. Before we get started, we're going to start with Backwoods tonight. I just want to put this out there. Prepper Nerd is doing a giveaway on the 13th. That's next Saturday, November 13th. And he's going to be giving away merch from the Native and Devout Prepper store. We have new T-shirts that say, "Let's go Brandon." and he's going to be giving those away. So you guys check him out November 13th, man, to get a Let's Go Brandon shirt. The link is in the description of this show tonight, man. Y'all check him out. Let's go, Brandon. There it is. That's what
I missed the clap. I fell behind, man. I'm trying to catch up.
I want to say real quick, you know, since you're doing this show a little bit differently with y'all three are going to kind of do the scenario together. So it's going to basically y'all are going to be the setup and the scenario. So this is really going to be interesting because I'm going to be curious who certain role playing is. Just saying.
God. Oh God, I can't wait. Well, I figured like you'll give the scenario, and then POTB will go first, and then Tribe will give his input, and then I'll give my input. We can build that way. We can build off each other. You know what I'm saying? And then we can have a discussion about it. I've just noticed. I've been watching the old episodes of the setup, and there's always been like things like you could tell like we could really go deep and discuss some of the matters, but they're just because we were playing the game, we just couldn't go into it. But last Monday with Virginia Roots, man, we really had some good discussion there, and I really wish we could have went deep into it because I was reading the chat. And the chat there was some good conversation going on in the chat, and I missed most of it.
Always good combo in the chat. Always.
Anyway. I do want to say I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you having me up here. Let me hang with you fellas. Being, you know, might be in the house, backwoods, native. I appreciate being up here with you fellas, man. We don't say that enough, so I really do, man. It's an honor.
No doubt, bro. Hey, it's an honor to be here, man. It's an honor to be here with y'all. I appreciate y'all coming on. I mean, it's nice to know in this community, like if you just get an idea for a good show, you know, for a good live stream, you can call people in the community, other creators, or just anyone, and they're like, yeah, man, I'm there. I got you. I'm with you, you know. And not just these brothers, just other people. I know I could have hit up, man, like Ghost, you know, Hutch, other people, man, just Josh, who would have been there, you know. And it's nice to know there's folks out there that you can depend on, especially nowadays, man. There's so much shit going on. There's so much that affects our daily lives. Like we come here in this community and we're kind of insulated from each other's lives. And I know y'all are out there living life. You're raising your families. You're prepping. You're doing the same things I'm doing. And it's only getting harder under Brandon's administration, man. So I appreciate y'all.
Salute.
No doubt. Roman Prepper in the house. What's up, man? Be charming. Good to see you. Steven, Red Scout. Man, there's some good folks in here tonight. But we're going to go ahead and get into it, guys. I'm excited to pay attention to Backwoods setup this time, man. I'll be honest with you, man. I wanted to like focus in on it, but I didn't want to cheat. You know, I'm trying to follow y'all's example, man.
You got notes written down.
I've already written out my answers for like 10 different scenarios. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's do the setup.
Let's do this.
How's it going, y'all? Glad y'all made it here to Native's live stream tonight. So, man, the setup, what a great freaking show that he's been doing, and hope he continues on doing them. So, for whoever gets this set up, this is your setup. It's you and your spouse and 2 children, ages 16 and 14. You live in Phoenix, Arizona, and y'all have plans to go on a 5-day vacation to Gunnison National Forest. From Phoenix, Arizona to Gunnison National Forest, it's approximately 11 hours there. So your kids are staying at home. They've been proven to be very responsible children. And plus you got a neighbor, you know, that kind of watch out, good, close family member. So it's just going to be you and your spouse on this 11-hour trip to go camping. Y'all are going up to a cabin, and this guy's got a nice little setup. It's got a little small lake, overlooks. So it's basically, you're renting one of the cabins, and y'all are going to stay there. So y'all get up the next morning, you leave out, you get there, it's late in the evening, you send a text to your children, they respond, everything's cool, all good, so you're off to bed. The next morning, you get up, you're going to take a hike, because at where the lake is there, the cabins kind of overlook the lake, there's this mountainside up there, right? And there's this real nice trail that goes up there. There's this peak up there, and man, you can see forever up there. Great place to have a little picnic. It takes an hour to hike up there. So y'all get up there, and y'all decide to hike up there and everything. You get up there, man, you're looking off back towards where, back from where you come from towards Arizona. You can kind of see back that direction. You can look down, you can see the lake, you can see the cabins and everything. Just an awesome, beautiful setup. And so you get up there, start to have your picnic. That's your setup.
I was trying to explain it, and because I know through these, man, they're like, well, how long did it take to get up there? How much did it,
No, that was good, man. That was very
good setup, man. Good setup.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay.
I wanted to do
to reiterate, basically, like you and your spouse are going up on a vacation, right? Like onto a cabin. You're leaving your kids behind because they're old enough to handle it. Is that the gist? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my internet's spotty. So sometimes when I play the videos, like it's choppy. So I'm just making sure I'm on the same page with everybody. All right. Tribe, POTB, y'all got questions before we get the scenario?
Nah. I think we're just having a picnic, right? Chilling. What's up, little dude? What's going on with you?
What's going on, little outside the box? What's up, brother?
What's happening?
What's up, little man?
What's up, little warrior in training?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it's just you're basically you and your spouse are going on a, I didn't know if I was going to get a woman or a man, for my set, so I just said spouse, So yeah, you and your spouse is
right,
going on a basically on a vacation, and you're gonna stay in a cabin overlooking the lake.
Husband. Right.
So we're not all together. I was thinking that we were all together.
Well, that's why I said it was going to kind of be weird if y'all were all together. I was going to wonder who was going to do the role playing. But
you want to roll like that?
I'm a power top, Pop B.
Hey, you just don't lock eyes, man. Just don't lock eyes.
Are you the spouse?
I just had a question. Did we?
I didn't mean like we were together doing the scenario. I'm just like we could talk through it together, like as a team, like what we would do.
Sad face. No. Did we drive there or did we fly there? I didn't catch it.
Drive there.
We drove there. Okay. Mm-hmm. It changes what you bring, that kind of stuff. So I didn't.
Right. Yeah. No problem.
I think it would be kind of cool if we was all there together, like we all met up at this place to vacation together, like a prepper get up, and we bring our spouses with us.
Start getting it together, man.
Can we do that, Backwoods? Can we do that, brother?
What's the central place between Arkansas, Maryland, South Carolina, and Missouri? What's the middle? Tennessee?
Virginia.
So, is it like nighttime when we're up there for this picnic, or is it?
No, that's what I'm saying. You get up, so you get there, you go to sleep. You text your kids. Yeah, you text your kids when you get there. Hey, we're here. Everything good. Everything's cool. And then you go to bed. You get up the next morning. Y'all going to go for a hike up this trail. It's an hour long up that trail. It takes you an hour to get to the peak.
Okay.
So you're up there and you can see basically, which would be a southwest angle towards Arizona, the way that you look, and then back your other direction here, you can see the lake and the cabins, but it's like an hour back down there.
Okay.
And it's an 11-hour trip from Phoenix to the Gunnison National Forest, which is in Colorado.
Oh, beautiful. know the
I
wife.
studied all this, man.
So are we 11 hours from wherever we need, like wherever our children are?
Yes, from your home.
Okay. Okay. Good.
No matter what.
Not good. But
Everywhere on Earth is 11 hours from this point. No, I'm just kidding. I'm ready,
Hey,
dude.
Bug Dude, I just want to say this to Bug Dude real quick. I like to spoon because spooning leads to forking.
Oh.
All right. So okay.
Oh.
All right. I think I'm good on the setup. Appalachian, what's up, sis? There's another all-star in the house. All right, let's get the scenario, man. I'm ready to like knock this one out of the park.
All right, guys. So you got your setup. So now here's your scenario. As you're up there picnicking, all of a sudden these two jets fly over. One of them you notice, because they're flying so close to you, you notice one of them has Chinese writing on it. And the other one you notice is an American jet. The American jet starts shooting at that Chinese jet. You're like, what the crap? You see it get hit, you see it go down off in the distance, and it blows up and stuff. Now, you're looking, it would be southwest from you. So in other words, you're actually looking towards Arizona, that direction where you live. You know, it's 11-hour trip, so it's a long ways off. So the next thing you start noticing off in that distance, back towards your home, you know, back towards Arizona, you start noticing things exploding. You start noticing more jets. So you pick up your stuff, you pick up your phone and you say, hey, there's no cell phone service. So you got an hour hike back down to the cabins. So you take off running down the hill, you get to your vehicle, and the guy, just as you're loading your stuff in the vehicle, the guy comes running out that owns the property, that owns the cabins and stuff. He comes running out and he says, the Chinese has attacked. They've taken over the whole West Coast. It's bad. Like they've moved all the way into Arizona and all the way from north to south. They've moved all up in there, and there's heavy fighting everywhere. The military has been deployed, and which you obviously know because you've seen the jet fly over, and it's bad. And, things are happening. You're hearing explosions. You're hearing more jets going on. The guy says, man, I don't know. I lost comms. I can't get any more information. That's all I know is that they're, the China's attacked, and it's bad. It's really bad. As parents, as Americans, and as somebody that just wants to survive, what do you do? There's your scenario, and you better believe we're going to have some caviars for you on this one. So do your best, and think hard, and tell us what it is you would do.
Everybody's saying Wolverines in the chat.
Right.
Man, that's a good one, man. And this is a good topic for discussion, especially with China. Man, if China invades us home, like that's it. Like nothing's ever going to be the same. And I'll be honest, don't it feel like that's their plan? Everything they develop, everything they do is to be the number one to replace us. Like with their hypersonic missiles that we don't really have the capabilities to combat yet. They bought ports all throughout Mexico and in Canada. I mean, anyway.
Hey, what if all they wanted? What if all they want to do is make sure that because they're degrading, they're having such issues. What if they want to make sure as they're falling, other people stay level with them so they don't have, a huge shift in power? Just saying. Like not invade, but
could be, man.
Destroy, downgrade.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
Hey,
sorry.
seems like they're already doing that. All right, so basically the scenario is China's invading while we're 11 hours away from our family, right? Our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Damn, dude. And they're invading right where we are.
They've moved all the way from the West Coast, and these big pockets and sales and stuff has been popping up everywhere. There's heavy fighting going on. They're well into Arizona, where the
right
main kind of resistant, the front lines are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All the way north and south. Just the whole West Coast there. The whole.
So we're just in front of it.
Well, and you also said the electronics went out, right?
Yep. Cell phones dead, and the guy come out and he's like, "Hey, comms just went down. That's all I know."
I mean, vehicles still work and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, I know. I mean, I know my first want is to jump in a vehicle and start maneuvering before the mass starts coming, because you're going to have a mass exodus out of people trying to get away from it. And my first thought is, if I've already made it down that hour, I can't get a hold of them. I know where they're going to be at, because we've already talked about this before. Not this scenario, but you know what I mean? Like, we've already talked about if we were separated, I know where they'd be. So my first thought would be getting in a vehicle and starting to move, not main roads, but back roads and stuff like that. I don't want to be caught up in checkpoints and stuff. So it would take a lot longer than 11 hours. You know what I'm saying? To get back.
Now, Rip Curl, you're already already done.
Dang,
well,
Rip failed. Rip failed. We don't have a chance then.
Yeah, they mowed right through Rip like it wasn't nothing.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm taking out Niecy, because I don't need nobody slowing me down. So I'm just gonna take her out of her misery and get rid of her. Plus, she's half Asian, man. She might flip on me or something. So after I take out Niecy, go through her pockets, make sure I get everything I need. She might have some survival stuff on her or whatnot. Then I'm probably gonna jump in the Astro and start heading east. You know what I mean? Back towards where I know.
Savage. Just straight savage. He's like, just in case she's still alive, I'm gonna throw her in the van.
Hey, tribe gets home. Everybody's like, "Where's Mom? Where's Niecy?" She fake it, man. Damn Chinese.
Tribe gets home and like, "Did you guys see that joint drill they did with China? Huh?"
Right.
Sorry. Anyways,
all right. So if I was in Arizona and I got to get to Colorado, right? And
Colorado, you got to get.
What? I'm sorry.
You're in Colorado. You got to get to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona.
So they're already in Arizona. So the Chinese are in Arizona with my kids, and I got to get there. Man.
Oh shoot!
I'll be honest. In that case, man. Like, it's time to go dark. Like, no one or nothing's gonna stop me from getting there. So I'm gonna be doing some dark things. Like, I'm not kidding. If my kids are there, and I know there's an enemy combatant there, military, law enforcement, innocent civilians, women and children, you better not get in my way. I got to get to my kids, because as preppers, like let me ask you guys real quick. Like these scenarios that we run, one of the reasons why I asked you guys, and actually everyone that has been on the show, the reason I asked these folks is because you all seem to have a propensity for this type of thing. You're good at it and you enjoy it. And Backwoods, why do you enjoy running these scenarios?
Well, man, it makes me think, and especially, when we do them where we don't know the scenarios, we catch it live right here, and right. that happen to think that, it's just like, man, I love this. And just as I get to thinking, man, I would do this, man, I would do this. And then Pot B or Tribe, Ghost, oh man, what about this? And I'm like,
right.
Oh, dang, I didn't even think about that, and I really like them. I really like doing these scenarios because it really makes you think. It's a tactical side of this prepping, you know, because every plan that you got right now may completely fail right off the bat. And you got to be able to think on your feet, man. You got to be able to think on the spot.
Right.
You know, I mean, like certain people got up on here and they fumbled, and I don't even think they still answered the question. You know, I won't mention his name. Ghetto. Excuse me. But no, I'm just saying it makes you think on your feet. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
It's real time. You know.
No doubt, man. No doubt. No. And like POTB, man, I remember you saying this a long time ago on one of your shows. I think it was War Games Wednesdays. You're talking about when you first got into prepping. You know, you said you were prepping the wrong way, and you said you were basically prepping to be a marauder. And you said that it changed when you had kids.
Yeah, it did.
When you had a family, that's what you said, and that does change you, man. And that's why I prep. You know, I mean, now it is like I was like you in the beginning. I was just prepping, but once family comes along, that's why we're prepping. We're prepping for our next generation. We're prepping for our children so that they have a chance to have a better life, man. When all the shit goes, when the shit hits the fan. So in this scenario, if my kids are there, then that's it. That's my goal. That's my mission. I got to make sure my kids are okay. So that's why, you know, nothing's going to stop me from getting to them. If anyone tries to, then I'm, you know, I'm going to be dark. Like that's just what it's going to be. So, and like Tribe said, man, if Lady Rowan gets in the way, I mean, she's got to go. You know. Well, I hope she's watching. I hope she's already asleep. Love you, honey.
Well, one of the things that I haven't heard anybody talk about yet or seen anybody in the chat, you know, and I mean, I see a lot of people talking about, you know, avoid bridges and tunnels and certain things and going on back roads and stuff. But is this something that you know how to get from where you're at and not traveling the normal route that you traveled? I mean, you see what I'm saying? That, you know, if you start venturing off, because Gunnison National Forest, if you look at it, man, it's mountainous all over the place. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of heavy terrain.
Every single one of my vehicles has an atlas in it, like a full atlas. That's why I was asking if we drove, because I had my truck bag, and I'd have an atlas. Yeah. I'd have things, you know.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Not saying that I thought about that, because I really didn't. I was just figuring that I would find my way. My wife's like a little human GPS.
Right.
So. Well, because you know.
And I'll say this too. I want to say this too, real quick. Like the reason I like this show, and the reason I used to love War Games Wednesday and you know, Backwoods and Ghost Show. What will we do? I've when I go back and watch the old shows and I read the chat, and there'll be people popping. There's, oh, this is silly. This, you know, this wouldn't happen, or this would happen. We don't know what's going to happen. None of us do. We really don't. I don't think, you know, as much as we prepare, as much as we talk about this stuff, no one knows exactly what's going to happen because you can't predict human behavior, man. You really can't. Everyone's going to be different. Like there was a scenario we were doing. I don't remember which one it was. It was talking about it might have been Virginia's, where she was stopped and there was a police car there. And anyway, someone in chat said this is silly. Police are going to be worried about their own families, and you're right. They will be. What if the way they worry about their own families is they use their car and their uniform to try and force people to hand over their goods so they can give it to their families? That's what I mean. Like, you don't know what people are. You can't just assume police officers are going to be good just because they're police officers. You can't assume that police officers aren't going to be there, you know, taking advantage of their position.
Well, and consider the fact that the young force, like the youth of law enforcement, is usually single. Guys don't get married and then go in to be an officer or in the military, whatever. They usually go in single because they're young. You know what I mean? And you're young and some shit pops off. I mean, what bigger thrill than having a job where you are the authority, and you know what I mean, for a young mind to be able to go through that. And I would say most of them are single, just like the military and stuff.
See, like this guy right here. This is not silly, man. You don't know what's going to happen. It's not survivalist bunk. I mean, if you're prepping, what are you prepping for specifically? What do you think is going to happen? Like, what scenario do you have in your mind is going to happen? You think you're 100% ready for it? That's why we have these discussions, so that we can get deeper into it and really open up our minds to the possibilities of it. This ain't survivalist stuff. This is just, what we don't know what's going to happen. How could you look at the world and everything that's going on and say that the United States is going to carry on the way it always has, and that we can trust this system to look out for the well-being of all of our rights? You know what I mean? It's not silly to do these things. I'll be honest with you. I think about these scenarios all the time, just throughout the day, wherever I am. I say, well, what if the EMP happened right now? What would I do to get home? Where are my kids at right now if an EMP happened? Are they prepared? Am I prepared to get to them? What route would I take? Where am I right now? Like Pop B said, I keep a road atlas in my go bag, just so I know. At least I have a map, a basic map that shows all the roads and the terrain, so I can go from point A to point B.
Well, you can't even native, like just say you're at work, your wife's at work, your kids are just at school or whatever. I mean, not saying yours in particular, but just given the simple fact of, you don't know that what them teachers are going to do. They could take your kids off. A police officer show up and be like, hey, we need to take everybody way over here. And y'all, they go way over there, and you're looking for your kids. You have no idea where they're at because nobody's around. You know what I'm saying? There's always that human factor in these things that is out of your control. And that's why doing these scenarios and going over just different points of views, because my scenario and my thoughts on it, like I said, the human factor of, say, Prepper Tribe has a different idea, and he's like, hey, what about this? And I'm like, man, I never thought about that, because, we're all different. We all think differently. We have a lot of same thoughts, but think differently,
Right. Yeah, I mean, anyway, so getting back to the scenario at hand, trying to get back to our kids, trying to get back to gosh, man, all our preps, everything is back where we left it. That's what makes me nervous about going on vacation, man, like traveling on the holidays and stuff. Like every time I leave, like a few hours away from home, I'm thinking, man, what if it happens? What if today's the day? What if today's the day where martial law is declared or whatever, And because you got to think, if China invades all the way up into Arizona, and martial law is just going to be everywhere. It's going to be chaos, man, all across the United States. Every state, every county is going to be doing different shit. County's going to be locking down resources like gas stations, all kinds of stuff's going to be going on. So getting back to our family, I think Pop B's right. We're going to need way more than 11 hours to get home, because one thing, I'm going back roads. I'm going cross country as much as possible. So are our vehicles not operable?
Yes.
No, they are.
Yeah, it was just they cut comms. No communication.
Okay.
Across the board.
Got you.
Ham radios, all that. They can control all that stuff. Contrary to some people's beliefs, your ham radio, you're not more special than the military. They can shut your ham radios down. Just saying.
The signal.
But yeah, and something you got to understand too, when you leave that location, you are leaving a location of resources and going out to where you're not sure where resources are. Even though you got an atlas, you can see a body of water on that atlas, but how hard is it to get to it? That kind of thing, the resources in between, the food, because 11-hour drive in a vehicle, is going to turn into, especially during a situation like this, it could turn into several days trying to get home,
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to eat, stuff like that.
Fuel.
You
don't drive a car for 11 hours without filling up a couple times.
Well, here's a little prepping for you. in my bug out van, I'd be pretty set for having the trip for a couple days. I mean, I got extra gas on it. I got tents, sleeping bags. I pretty much got a house on wheels if I needed to, because I keep everything loaded up in the top joint. I got extra supplies and this and that and this and that. So as long as I can keep my van, me and Nisi would be straight. You know what I'm saying? As far as if we had to stop and camp or do anything like that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's the way it is with my truck too. I mean, I keep all kinds of supplies in my truck and tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't set up like the bug out van, man, but I've got some stuff.
Well, and you gotta think of the fact too that the military is going to have, check stations, but they're also going to be, I'm sure it's going to be.
Yeah, you fucked up, man. You killed Nisi off. She's got the map.
I know, man. What the hell, tribe?
I was kidding.
No,
I did that for Coral. Coral always thinks I'm gonna kill everybody, so I just did it for Coral.
But you got to imagine that the military is going to send out patrols too. You know what I'm saying? They're patrolling back roads and stuff like that. I mean, if you do come to a checkpoint that you would have never thought would be there, you know what I'm saying? Because it's on some back road that's not even hardly on the atlas, and you run across that jackass with a uniform on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're like, look, man, I've got to get through. I live so and so, and he's like, man, you can't go there. Turn around and leave. Well,
I think the first thing really you would really be wanting to do is get information. Mm-hmm. Like, just because this dude runs out and says the Chinese are attacking, like, you want a lot more information. So one, you want to see if there's any kind of solar radio or something you can get on that ain't burnt up and taken out, so you can get on there to see if Washington's talking or the emergency broadcast system, or maybe you can, because where you're at, you might be able to go up to like a local store or something, or a local town and see, what the town's talking about, get some information about what they know, what they've seen, what they've heard, I mean, that's going to be your best friend is information, because without that, I mean, you're going into the dark pretty much.
Yeah.
Press one.
Yeah.
Press one.
Hey, you brought up the gas earlier, man. Like, I'm thinking, how many of us know, like, how much gas it takes to drive our vehicle 11 hours? You said we're 11 hours away. You know what I'm saying? I know Pop B does.
Well, only because I'm taking trips like that long in it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason I know, because I don't go out and like calculate all my vehicles.
If freaking China's invading all the way up to Arizona, I mean, like I said, man, county, I promise you, your county officials are going to lock down resources they need for their vehicles, for emergency response vehicles, for a fire department, for the county vehicles. They get first dibs. Like the company I work for owns a regional fuel depot, and I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to lock down all kinds of stuff. They're going to lock down grocery stores, whatever they feel they need to run the county, because they know what's best for us. The government knows what's best for us. Right. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, I know in my bug out, like I've done I've read up on it big time, because I had to fix it a lot and stuff. And I wanted to know these things, how much gas it holds, how many miles. I've checked it as I've been driving to get an estimate about how much I get on a gallon of gas and this and that and this and that. And I get some miles out of that bad boy. I mean, on a full tank, I probably get close to 300 miles in that bad boy. So, give or take, you could almost tell, like I would probably only have to fill up one time to go the 11 hours. I could probably go fill up one time, and I'd probably be running on fumes by the time I get close to my house, but it'd probably be one time I'd have to fill it up.
Right.
You only had to fix it a lot because it's a Chevrolet anyway.
Brother, what proof do you have that it won't happen? I mean,
don't hate.
You need proof that the government's not going to be there for us in an emergency. I mean, I don't understand your question. Like, the reason these scenarios is because the reason we prep is because we don't know what's going to happen, and because we've read the book. We know what happens in the book of Revelation. There is an apocalypse coming to the whole world. If you're not prepping for it, then you don't believe the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. Hang with Jesus.
This is. Let me remind everyone that I know most know, but let me remind them that this is a show. This isn't what the whole channel's about. Native Voice does all kinds of things, but on Mondays he does this show called The Setup, and we run some scenarios, we hang out with the chat, we try to have a good time, we tell some jokes, and then we get serious, we try to learn and teach, and you know, the chat teaches us everything. So it ain't like, come on, man. Come on, enjoy it. Just sit back and try to play along and have a good time tonight. Stop worrying so much.
We had a show 2 weeks ago about zombies and werewolves. You think we all think that's going to happen tomorrow?
I still have nightmares.
It's to flex our prepping theory muscles. Like, what would you do if this happened? Because we don't know what's going to happen. And if you believe what's going to happen in the book of Revelation, then what we're talking about is nothing compared to what's going to happen soon.
Man, forget that person, man. Let's go on about the show, man. Shoot, we're taking too much time out of the show. That's exactly what people like that want to do.
Yeah, and it's probably somebody we know anyway. Yeah. You never know. You change a name and then come in here and start up some bullshit. Some bullshit.
We got
Bullfrog.
Trying to finish out this scenario, and then got 3 other good scenarios.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Bullfrog, like, you might have, man, try it. What if you had to ditch the bug out, man?
Oh, man.
Out of gas?
I'd be heartbroken, man. I love that van. I'd be heartbroken.
What would it take, though? It would have to be more than just gas for you to ditch the bug out. What would it take for you to
I would think it would break down, like get shot up, like I'm driving trying to get through something, or it gets, I mean, I even got like, you know, them farm jacks. I got a brand new farm jack, one of them big ones. I got those plates that you put under the tires in case it gets stuck, and I also got all-wheel drive. Man, it's like a tank. So it's going to take it breaking down, not running, for me not to be in that joker, to be honest. Or if you find out that, you know, they have the airspace locked down there and they're shooting any vehicle that's moving, then boom, you got to go on foot. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to get out that joker. I would cover it up with as much leaves as I could to try to hide it. So maybe 6 months from now I can come back and get it if we end up winning or something. You know what I'm saying? I love that van, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so like, if you were like halfway there, like halfway through the 11-hour trip back home, and like it wasn't gas, like you said, like how many spares do you have for it? Like, what if your tires got shut up? How many tires could you lose and still be ready to go?
One. I only have one spare on my truck, but it's the exact same size as my other tires. Like, you know, because of my all-wheel drive. Yeah. You don't want to run a donut on there. You can burn your whatever that thing's called that I can never remember what it's called.
Well, would you try to find another tire? Would it be an easy find, like if you're on your Astro van?
Yeah, man.
Probably. I mean, there's so many Astro vans out there, but I don't know, man, because I was searching for rims for that thing to try to get some off rims so I could like paint them black or something. I was thinking all kinds of stuff. I had a really hard time. I ended up having to buy brand new rims because everything that fitted, man, it was like, you know, stuff I didn't want to be put on there. But I mean, you could probably find something to slap on there if you had to. I mean, Dire Straits, man, if you can fit it on there, you're going to think, what donut or not, you're going to throw it on there. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a Chevrolet Astra van. I mean, there's girls' bicycles everywhere. You just get a tire and rim off of it.
See what I got to deal with, man. See what I got to deal with. Can we mute Backwoods, please? He keeps picking on my baby, man. I'm getting butthurt over here.
I'm only picking. I'm only picking on the van because it is actually really freaking sweet, and I do like the shit out of it.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
Jelly. He's
It
jelly.
is
I have
nice.
a question. I have a question for the chat. Related to Backwoods scenario here. How many of you guys in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 5, think that the major shift in your mind that you think is coming to the whole world? How much of on a scale of 1 to 5 do you think China is going to be involved in that? Scale of 1 to 5. Put it in the chat.
1 being.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 being the greatest that China will be involved, 5 being the least. My bad. I should have said that.
Press 1.
I mean, if we have a worldwide event, it's going to be a 1. Why would a country not be involved, either to take advantage or to cover their own ass? You know,
Right.
people want to survive. They don't want to. You know what I mean?
Let me ask y'all something. It kind of made me think. Do y'all think that China would take advantage? Let's say Russia pop something off at us. Do you think China would be like, yes, time to attack? Do you think that they would take advantage of us? And maybe that's why we brought all them soldiers back so quick and debacled that whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
It would depend if it was nuclear or not. I think if they shot a nuclear weapon at us, Russia, I think China would get involved on our behalf because they want our resources. They need our stuff. Now,
I agree. I think China has a problem feeding their population, man. I really do. I think that's China's motivation for everything, because if they can't feed their people are going to revolt. You know, there's 1 billion people in China. You know, and I think the Communist Party, for all their building up of the military, everything, you know, 1 billion people is 1 billion people. So I think they have a problem feeding their people, and that's why their fishing fleets are surrounding the globe right now, literally, with their maritime militia too. They literally have military boats all stationed all over the globe right now, guarding their fishing fleets, spying on every coast, spying on even ours. They've been seen off the coast of South Carolina the past couple of years.
Hey,
So I think
what's going on with the scenario?
I know, right? I told you this was going to be a discussion.
We're trying to figure China out here, might be.
We went from Colorado to Russia.
I know, right?
It went full circle.
Flat tires and maps.
Let me ask you guys this. In the spirit of this scenario, because I know you guys have thought about this a lot. Like, what if this happened and we had to get home? How soon do you think people would take advantage? Like, there's going to be bad players who see an opportunity. Like, there's no law right now. I can take advantage. How soon do you think that would happen after, like, with this scenario that Backwoods just gave us? China's invading. All right, they're on American soil. We're trying to get back to Arizona. We've got an 11-hour trip. Let's say it's probably going to take us a couple of days to get there. So we're going to have to go around some roadblocks. We're going to have to go around all kinds of shit. So in y'all's opinion, how soon do you think people will start trying to take advantage? Will it be immediately or what?
I think it would be immediately, but it would be different in different areas. And people would be protecting their own, and people would be, violating their own, depending on where you live.
I hear you. I mean, I think it'd be immediate. I really do, man. I think people of all ilks will come out of the woodworks to perpetrate their heinous acts on humanity as soon as they see they can get away with it. I'm talking everybody from child molesters, rapists, murderers, petty thieves, drug addicts, you name it. People who just want revenge on their neighbors, they're going to come out the woodworks and do whatever they want to because they think they can get away with it. I don't think we realize how a thin veneer society really is. The threat of being prosecuted under the law keeps people from doing some bad stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as that's gone, man. That's my to go with what the gentleman earlier said. He has no faith in mankind. I don't think any of us on this panel do, and I don't think preppers in general really have that much faith in mankind. We put our faith in God. We put our faith in other things, but for that reason, man.
What do y'all think that the government would do towards the people if China invades? You know, I ask y'all this because I really don't know, but maybe y'all do. Y'all have served in the military. What do you think the government's first move towards the citizens of America, if it was really a strong invasion like this? What would they do or put out to us? What would they expect of us? What would be their move towards us?
Immediate patriotic propaganda, just like they did with 9/11. If it happened now with this administration, they would know about it. They would be in on it, and they'll be trying to use it to suppress us, to bring us under martial law and say, "Oh, we're being invaded. Trust us. Give us everything, and we'll take care of you, and we'll fight China together." That's what I think.
Like, let's put all the guns over here in these, so we know where they're all at, and as we need them, we'll call you up. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Like his active list.
Yeah.
People in the chat talking about different stuff too, man. It's pretty interesting. Like draft, call to arms to every able-bodied citizen,
I think a lot
lockdowns.
Well, one of the things that I think of too in this is the fact of, man, you know, thinking of the real fact of you running up on a couple of squad cars and these guys get out, you know, in the police uniform. You can't even be sure that they're actually police. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you know, or even military, you know, that somebody hadn't taken it over and they, you know, they notice Tribe's got this kick-ass van and he's, you know, got some gas cans, got some supplies, and he's like, yeah, buddy, yeah, just come on through, man. You know, we gotta, you know, and as you're starting to kind of come through, then they hit you hard, you know. I mean, that'd be a scary thought, you know, of the faith in man would go away big time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hudal brings up a good point. Yeah, definitely. I think whatever happens at this point, I don't think Russia and China have an alliance against us, but I will say this: they both have an alliance with Iran because Iran is producing a lot of their oil reserves. They have like a $52 billion agreement with Iran. I mean, with Russia. I don't know how many $1 billion oil deal with China to produce, and neither of those two countries, especially China, is not going to do anything to jeopardize that deal because they need that oil. So whatever China and Russia does, Iran's right there backing them up because they hate us anyway.
I just really believe that nuclear attack against us is pretty much off the table because of the resources we have. I don't think any country. I mean, like someone like China, for instance, they're not going to nuke us. The second thing is, you know, if someone tried to nuke us, I really believe China would get involved on our behalf because they're working on a long-term plan of taking this country over slowly, a little at a time, you know, nibbling.
I don't think anyone's going to drop nukes at this point, but I'm not saying it's not possible in the future. There's certain things in the scriptures, man. It sure sounds like a nuclear weapon. It just does. But I've read a book. It was a post-apocalyptic story, and we dropped a nuke in the story. We shot a nuke at China sent their naval fleet to the west coast to invade, and we dropped a nuke and blew them up. And so in retaliation, they blew up Tampa, Florida, with a nuke.
Shit.
I was like, that's an interesting scenario. Like, that's the only place they blew up was Tampa, Florida. I was like, all right, we can let Tampa go. Like, you know,
my vacation.
The Buccaneers, we don't need them. Like,
oh yeah,
right.
But it was a good point though. Like if you think about it, like you guys are saying, they want our resources. I think you're right, man. I don't think they would waste. Especially one thing, we're like their number one consumer too. They want us to keep buying stuff from them. I think they're trying to continue setting up their hegemony. They want to be the one who drive the whole global economy. That's what I think about China.
Right.
Michigan Outpost, I agree with you.
Hey, hey, Native.
What's up?
You ready for that next scenario? Or are we still doing? We got caviars. Or
No,
I'm eager, dude.
I mean, well, the whole thing about it is that, even myself, as I was coming up with a scenario, me and my cousin was sitting at deer camp, and he was helping me out some, and man, we was talking about all this different stuff, and that's such a hard deal because, it's basically you and your spouse, and you're trying to get to your children, and you're going through a combat line. I mean, they are actively fighting, and you can't even know that if you don't approach, if you don't get through that line the right way, it may be an American troop that shoots you because they don't know. They just know. You know what I'm saying? And so,
all right, let's give one caviar here before we move on.
Get it.
You see it?
Right there. Oh, fudge.
See, this is why I offed her at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Always throwing shit in the game.
what the
Hey, Nacy, so I got a question. The house has been ransacked, but are any of our neighbors still there?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Yeah. I mean, Pop B brought this up too earlier. I think you were saying and you have scenarios with your family, like for them, a safe place for you to meet them, right? Yeah, like we have one too, and I would go check that first.
Not from Arizona. Shit.
True.
I'm screwed in this whole scenario.
I know, right?
I ain't got no bug out van. I got kids that are not old enough to take care of themselves right now.
I hear that. Yeah, man, I'd be stuck west of the Mississippi. I wouldn't know which way was up, man. I wouldn't know my edible plants. I wouldn't know anything.
Dang it, tribe! Stop killing the neighbors.
Yeah, she said no neighbors, no nothing.
Oh,
no, I'm saying Coral Tiger said you killed the neighbors.
I'd be nomad, man. I'd spend all my time trying to find my family. I really would. It'd just be me.
I mean, yeah, I would search my house for some kind of evidence, maybe a note, a sign, or something, in like my daughter's room, because she would try to tell me something. And if she didn't, yeah, I'd be trying to find someone that's still around the area to be able to tell me what the hell just happened. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Because where do you go from there? You know what I mean? They're gone, and you're in America.
Right. America.
Right. Well, and it's just it's a, I'm sure that there's a possibility, my opinion, that probably at that point, once you see that your children are gone, you see that, your neighbors are gone, I mean, everything's ransacked, I would probably at that point, my personal opinion is go to a National Guard or military and try to find out if maybe they have came through and got Americans out of there and took them to a certain location. Because
information.
At that point, information. At that point, man, I mean, I know, the military thing and everything, but then when you see, and I've talked to military personnel who was like in Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff like that, and them saying, man, I give my candy and stuff like that to these kids, and I mean, not everybody is, a bad guy. Not everybody is, just a shithead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're fighting. If they're on the front lines fighting and everything, they're obviously, still for America. They're fighting to get these invaders out. And, it would seem to me that they would set up some kind of a deal so when they do get Americans that are kind of behind enemy lines and bring them, or right there at enemy lines and bring them to a certain location.
Yeah, that's a good point. Joe brings up a good point, man. I mean, like when someone says they're a prepper to you guys now, like at your level of prepping, like when someone says they're a prepper, like what are your expectations of them? Like when someone tells me now, like they're a prepper, like, I mean, 3 months of food, like food and water. Yeah, that's like basic level. Like That's why I asked the gentleman earlier. I mean, what are you prepping for then? Like, what is your goal? Like, why are you prepping? I think for most of us, it's a lifestyle. I mean, it really is. It like to be prepared. Preparedness is a lifestyle. It's a mindset. So I mean, but yeah, Joe brings a good point. Doomer dude. He said this. I hope China doesn't, but if they do, a lot of things in the world will probably change. I agree, man. I think things would be changed forever if anyone invaded the United States. Really,
Yeah,
think
no
about it. If
doubt.
anyone invaded our country, it would be nothing would ever be the same after that. Our country is in a fragile state right now. I don't think a lot of Americans realize how fragile it is.
Yep.
All right, we can. I mean, if you are satisfied, I am. I mean, it's kind of a, there's a lot of different angles that, stay on the back roads, try to stay hidden as much as possible. Another reason why you always make sure you got atlases in your vehicle, your EDCs that, your everyday carries. You want to make sure you have, and for me, I was thinking too that on an 11-hour trip like that, I'm probably going to up my EDC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to add a little stuff to it, because man, I'm 11 hours away by car, and all through the mountains, bro.
And see right there, man, that shows you right there. Somebody who's watching this, they may not even be in the chat. They might watch it later, but they might add, excuse me, they might add a map to their bug out. They might add some gas cans to the outside of their car to carry with them. They might think about having extra tires. It's stuff like this that gives people ideas that, sometimes it isn't said, but it's done, and it helps.
Well, and it's kind of like even knowing how to get gas out of a vehicle, siphoning gas. Because some of these vehicles, they've got little blockers and stuff in them that it's hard to actually just siphon one out, and learning how to get gas out of a tank, there's a lot of stuff to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
the next. Oh.
I was just gonna say I get that when you get to a certain point to where you're prepped. I have a few years of food preps and other preps too but do I feel like I'm done prepping? Absolutely not, man. And it's for this reason. We don't know what's going to happen. Just like this scenario, you might not be home when it happens, and you might have to get back to your preps. You can't take 3 years of preps with you when you go on the road, and that's the point of all this. That's the point of why we do these scenarios, just to make us think about other things other than what we have stocked up. And prepping outside the box made this point. And I say this all the time. This dude changed the way I prep. And he said, in the end, anything we prep is just a comfort item. It's skills that we need to prep also. Because one rogue military unit or one gang of people that comes to your place and you're not prepared for them to assault and steal everything you have, then what you going to do? You can't just sit on top of your horde and say, I'm ready, and not think about all the other scenarios that you haven't even thought about that might happen. Anyway,
I tell you, man, we should go back to.
He knows I love him. He's always contrary to me. He thinks I don't see him, but I just ignore him most times.
I think we should go back to the challenges, man. I remember when I did that bug out challenge in the van, man, I learned some stuff about my bug out bag and whatnot. Like, take a night, go park at the end of your driveway and say, okay, I'm stuck in my car. I can't go in the house. Make believe you're somewhere else where you can't get nowhere, you can't go nowhere, and see how hard it is to stay in your car overnight. See if you have the things in your bag that makes your life a little bit more comfortable while you're in that situation. Like, really test yourself. You know what I mean?
Amen, brother. All right. Anyway, thank you, Backwoods.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, brother. That was a good one, man.
It was.
Hey, man, that was a beautiful freaking scenic spot that you picked to do your videos in. Is that close to you?
Oh, yeah, it's about 5 minutes walk from my house.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
man,
Can you put the address in chat?
Yeah. I will.
All right. So anyway,
Big Chat rocks the Astro van too. That's what's up. That's what's up, Big Chat.
All right, so I'm gonna get. We're gonna move on to Pop B scenario. Are you ready, man?
Yeah. All right. How ready? Let me turn the video on. All right. So, no. All right. Hey, no, this works. No, I want to see your faces for this one. Well, we can do this too. You can throw me up. It don't matter. But okay. So I'm glad, Tribe, you said this because it's part of it. This is why I got so excited. And I was asking you earlier, Native, who was all going to be on here because it would depend on what I do, right? So here's your setup. It is fall time, and all three of you have met up, right? You have your significant other, and you have your kids. You are going for a vacation, right? You're going to go camping and do some fellowship and stuff, but all three of you are at Native's place, right? So you're at your location already, right? Kids, family, everybody there. Like I said, you all have your significant other with you, and during this time, you get stuck in a large CME that just destroys, knocks out vehicles and things like that. You ain't moving anywhere. Not too much of a big worry because you got your family with you, right? You spend about a month together trying to work together and make the best of a bad situation, right? Through this whole entire trial of misery and all this, you have arguments, you guys fight, but you become stronger. You become bonded through all of this like turmoil, right? Because you've been living together and surviving together on Native's land. So a group similar to yourself, a couple months in, right? Group similar to yourself starts fighting for your property, okay? You have limited supplies already because it's been a while and you guys have been, with 3 families, you've been going through a lot of your preps, So you've got limited supplies. And every member of your newly found mag has a ready available bug out bag. So you guys are prepared in case you ever had a bug out, right? You're already living in the scenario. So you got your bag ready. And you all have some fashion of a weapon. But between all 3 of your families, you only have 3 rifles, right? But you have enough ammo. You got like 6 to 8 mags per rifle, like a combat load. So you guys are decently prepared.
All right.
So that's your setup. You've been together for a while. You've been going through a lot. And another group, a team is coming up there and they're fighting through you. And it's a decent amount of guys. It's more than, some kids and some grown men and women are going to be able to deal with. So that's your setup. Now,
right.
I have a question. And you're all together on this and talk together and figure out what you're going to do. Some might, you guys, well, anyways. Do you stay and fight the overwhelming force or do you grab and run with your gear?
All right. So when you say overwhelming force, we're like, give me numbers, like 3 to 1, 2 to 1.
Let's say there's 40 people coming on your place.
Okay. And it's me, my group, Tribe's group, and Backwoods group.
It's you 3 and your families.
Okay.
Not
place.
You know what I mean? Like you guys came together at your place. Yeah.
Okay.
And you still have a bug out bag. You're running out of supplies on the location anyways. And you guys have 3 rifles and, blades and stuff like that, but 3 rifles with a full combat.
3 rifles.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. And 40 people's coming.
Yeah. But it's just the first question when you guys are, because it's happening right now. Do you guys go, hey, we gotta get the hell out of here? Does some stay? Do all of you go? Do all of you stay?
I say we stand our ground and we hit Native up, like, man, hit the mag up, hit Ghost up, man, get them over here.
Yeah.
Me, Backwoods, and you set up. I mean, we'll be like 300 up in that joint. You know what I mean?
If it's my spot, we could block off 2 roads, man. We take out 2 bridges and we're landlocked. Like you can't get to us, with your vehicles and stuff. Like you can cross the creeks and whatever, but you ain't getting across with no vehicles and nothing.
Everyone's on foot.
Yeah, see, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take out the bridges. We're gonna do what Tribe said. We're gonna reach out and see who we can get in the neighborhood. We're definitely gonna contact Ghost and get Ghost up in there. And then Ghost, man, we got 3 rifles. We screwed up. We weren't prepared. What you got? We need some ammo. Come on, man. Let's improvise.
How are you getting a hold of Ghost? You have no means of communication, and you're being attacked right now.
I can. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. At this moment, you're getting hit.
Okay.
And you've got to decide to run or fight. There's no like, hey,
well, we got to get the
road. You're in it right now.
Well, we got to get the women and children the hell up out of there. So we're going to have to fight for a minute to give them a running start. You know what I mean? And I'm sure Native's got a way different paths to leave that joint in case of emergency. I know he does. So I know Lady Rowan could get all the kids together, the women together, and they could make a move. I'm sure they got a plan in place if, you know, and I would think that we would at least have to fight during that to give them a head start.
I would say that there's a path to go straight to our fallback location. And later on could lead everybody there. As long as everyone had their bags ready to go, they could be out the door in minutes and to the place. And then whoever's left, we could make our stand to just long enough to give them a chance to get out of there. If 40 people just all of a sudden showed up and attacked our spot because we were lazy and slack and didn't have nobody on guard.
But you don't really have that many people unless you put your kids on guard right now, you know, or you guys rotate one of you.
Well, I got some older boys. Like if I had my boys with me, that would be 2 more soldiers in the, you know.
There you go. You got that.
So you figure that's 5. And then I know Backwoods, you got a son. Native, you got a son. So, I mean, we're already working on 10 deep. You know, even if a couple of the women stay, if they're good shots, and just say, let's say Lady Rowan just takes the little kids and dips and everybody else takes up arms and, you know, it's time to fight.
Well, we only got 3 guns.
We only got 3 guns at Native's house? I don't think so.
No, I'm saying right now it's been enough time into it. You have ammo and three operating firearms.
Got you.
So we're deep into this. This is like years into it, right? That's what you're saying.
No, you're in the thick of it. You know, you started in the fall, you made it through the winter. Maybe it's coming up on spring, but this is happening, and it's happening like bam. It just hits you. You know.
Right.
Well, what I'm gonna do is set up a triangle, you know, with Tribe out front and me and Native on each side of him, you know, and laying down suppressive fire while the kids and stuff get out. You know what I'm saying? And then. While Tribe's up there, I'm gonna shoot him in both kneecaps, and we're gonna sacrifice Tribe, and they're gonna try to get information out of him and give me and Native time to get to the women and children, and then we're gonna go from there.
All right, so I'm gonna steer away from Backwood sacrificing you, Tribe, real quick. I'm just gonna stay with that. No, look. So I'm gonna take part of what you guys said. I'm gonna push you further along into it, right? You guys. I mean, realistically, you probably have more means to be able to last longer and fight, and you've probably had other, ideas to have a stronger force. But we're in this scenario. So let's say you guys did, fought your way. You got the kids and women out, and you guys pushed out with your, your supplies, your bug out gear, and you pushed out, and you guys all made it. Everyone's unscathed, right? No one's hurt. You took out a couple of them because you guys got active, and you made it out. So you're on the run, okay? You successfully make it out. And away from the property, and you've been on the run for about 3 weeks now, okay? You've been pushed out, and you're just going. Supplies are reduced to foraging and rations. It's been a while, and bug-out bags don't hold, everything. So you're down to foraging and rations and things like that. That group that invaded you before starts to make ground and close that distance into you again, right? So you guys pushed away, but they've been tracking or whatever it is. They ran through your limited to no supplies at your place and have been trying to find you again. They come up on you and start getting in contact with you, right? So I'm going to do this as a split event, okay? It's all the same thing that's happening, but it's a different idea for all of you, right? So Backwoods, Native got shot. Tribe, Backwoods got shot, and Native, Tribe got shot, right? That's what happened.
All right.
So all of you guys are going. They started fighting again. Fighters are closing in between the 3 of you and your families. And now you have an injured comrade that you've been roughing it with. What do you do?
All right.
I'm shot up.
Well, all 3 of you are shot up in your own individual scenarios. But yeah, you're shot up. So if you guys have a question, ask it. I'll tell you what you see or feel or whatever. But
where is the wound?
Is it mortal? Is it a mortal wound?
Okay, so I'll give you that one. I'm kind of happy you said that. All three of you guys got shot in an artery, right? It's an arterial wound, so you're
Okay.
bleeding out.
All right.
There's a little bit of shock in there, obviously, because you guys are making it and you're dehydrated, you're hungry, but you get hit and you're bleeding out. Well, your comrade is, not you, but individually. You know what I mean?
I'm going to give the person in my group that is the best shot, long range. Make sure they have the rifle and the scope. I'm going to put a propane tank in a backpack and put it on, and I'm going to go right into the middle of that group and tell them to shoot the propane, and so I can blow up as many of them as possible.
Damn good idea.
Wait, hold on. Now, is that the first thing you do?
You said I had a mortal wound.
No. Listen, when you're going, Tribe got hit on yours.
Oh, okay.
You're not the one that got hit, and you're staying Backwoods, and yours, you didn't get hit. Native
I'll take the backpack with the propane tank, brother. I got you.
All right, brother. I'll take the shot, man. I'll take the shot.
Let's get it.
I won't let Lucy take it. I'll take it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's the first thing you did was Backwoods. You want to say something or?
Well, I mean, my first thought process though was when we escaped from them the first time, and we're back off at a fallback location. My first thought would be to start setting up booby traps in between here and there as much as possible, you know, of some sort, you know. But as far as it goes for a native getting shot, I mean, you know, I'm going to try everything we can to try to save him, you know, because number one, I want native and I want tribe to be able to back me up and to be able to help me protect not only my family, but theirs as well. Because now the responsibility, if I just leave native or whatever, the responsibility sort of falls on me to protect his family. You see what I'm saying? And me and tribe.
It's going to be a little bit of emotion towards family if you leave somebody behind too.
Yes.
There's another thing you could do too. If you wasn't finished Backwoods,
No.
I'll shut the hell up. But there's another thing we could take a chance. Like I could be like, hey fellas, look, I'm gonna run out there, hands up, and run towards them, saying, you know, waving the white flag. I'm gonna say, look, I'm gonna tell them that you're at such and such a spot to set them up so you can pluck them off when they come through. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna run over there to the enemy and act like I'm giving up and I don't give a shit about the people behind me. Like I barely know these people, man. I just happened to stop by because I wanted to pick up a propane tank off of native. I don't really know these guys, man, but I know the layout. I've been hanging out for like the last hour, and I know where they're at right now, and we could like set them up to get them to go into a certain spot where maybe native has those booby traps, or maybe native, you know what I'm saying? Just something throw out there. Might be able to work something out. When you're in desperate time, you got to come up with some stuff, man.
No doubt,
You got 40 people coming at 3 dudes with 3 guns.
Well, I'm also thinking that as soon as it gets dark, I'm going to want to try to at least 1 or 2 of us to go and try to sneak towards them and see if we can't take a couple of them out and create some distraction from each flank. You know, start trying to eliminate some of these people in the dark.
So there is 2 main things that actually kind of got hit and kind of didn't from the chat and from you guys, right? And the first one was well, actually, I like the idea of someone sacrificing for the grade of the team, right? I do. So I like that idea. Whether or not, however it works out, or whatever's propane tank blowing people up, or whatever the sacrifice is, I do like it. I think it's a honorable thing. But and so what Backwoods was saying, if you guys don't look out for each other, you got family, you got kids and stuff like tribe. If they left you to die, you got older sons. They're not going to, I mean, now all of a sudden you got, you know, men that are not going to put their trust or anything and faith in the rest of the team. You know, they've lost them if they can't do anything for each other. So it's a huge one. You have to deal with the family, not just the person. But the first thing that I was curious about was Native. You hit it when you said, is it mortal wound, right?
Yeah.
but no one treated the wound. I'm not saying that like anything. I'm just saying like because we're always I do the same thing when I'm like thinking about like, well, shit, let's go fight these. You know, I'm about to die, but you bleed out so fast from an arterial bleed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, that's what
I'll be honest, man. Like when I was an EMT, triage is going to be something that a lot of us in the shift, like when you see these types of wounds and stuff, we have to learn to triage, and it's not going to be easy, especially when it's your loved ones. We're going to do everything we can to try to save the people we love. But
So fade. It's not like anybody had to treat anybody else. A person should, could treat themselves if they're conscious and things like that. A big thing that I was going to throw in there as a caveat, right?
Yeah.
Because I liked where it was. I mean, I do. I love where it was going and stuff like that. And I like everything that we're talking about. But I wanted to show in there that the wound hit you, and you're now non-ambulatory, which means you can't move. You're not walking. You're not functioning like a normal person. So
injuries will take you out. Because when I got those kidney stones, I was done. Somebody could have robbed my house and I would have been done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that pain shut my body down to where I couldn't even think straight. I couldn't imagine getting hit in a serious spot. You would be screwed up, man. You're not only trying to help the person that's shot with the injury, you're also trying to help them with their mind to get them back on track. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I would think.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
But that was the biggest thing is the family that you're dealing with from the person that got injured, because they're most likely going to die. What kind of, and they even said it in the chat, what are you going to do to triage an arterial bleed? You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to put a Band-Aid on it. Even if you put a tourniquet on it, for how long? And I don't know how to deal with that afterwards. If I ever have to throw a tourniquet on and shift, I'm fucked. I don't know.
Especially if you got, especially if you're in a firefight, man, if there's people bearing down on you and you got an arterial bleed, like you just said, it's going to happen fast. And even our plan of being, going suicide bomber on them, if you got an arterial bleed, you're probably not going to be able to do that anyway, but at least you could have it on you.
Well, that was why I went to this. The caveat is it's non-ambulatory. So same thing, but the person in your little scenario individually, the one that got shot, is down hard. They're alive. It's not fatal, right? But they can't move. Whether it's a broken bone or whatever you want to say it is, they have to be carried. So now what do you do?
Yeah, it depends on the person, but you might just want to give them a gun fully loaded, and still you would be the sacrifice, but maybe you could take some people out, as they come up, put them in a place that's kind of hidden, but like, dude, we can't carry you, man. Can you hold them off? Take one for the team. And I think if you was in that situation, you're gonna man up and do what you gotta do. It's gonna be over. Them dudes can't carry you because they're gonna get shot carrying you. You're not gonna let your comrades or whatever you want to call them die. You know what I'm saying? Because you're all messed up. So give me a gun, put me in a safe spot. I'll try to hold them off as long as possible, man. I hope y'all make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a caveat for all of us, man. And this is a dark way to think. What if what POTB said happened to one of our kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if they were the ones who got the arterial bleed? How would it change? Like, I know it would change my reaction, man. I would see red. I don't know what I would do. I'll be honest. I can't say what I would do if one of my kids died like that.
Well, you would want to think that you would, like you said, see red and just go all out, But I mean, at the same time, you've got to calm down and think about there's other kids. You've got another kid involved. Boy, that would be a hard one for sure.
It really would. It'd be hard to gather yourself and realize going off half-cocked and trying to kill 40 people would not be the good thing to do. But I don't know, man.
That's another thing too that you got to think about is, let's say it's native, he's injured in that way and going to do these things. we also have to deal with Lady Rowan and his kids knowing these things. They're there with us, so they're not going to want their dad to be sacrificed. They're not going to want to leave their dad. They're going to be totally flipping out because he's injured in the first place. And they're going to be scared because of the whole situation too. It's going to be mayhem.
It really is. I mean, being in a shift period, whether where any fighting is or not, I think about this for my kids, like my older kids. The ones who haven't been raised in prepping, like I have my younger kids, they're still in society. Like they understand what I do and why I do it, but in the back of their minds, I don't think they really think that they need any of this stuff. So when it happens for them, I mean, it's going to be a culture shock, man. They're not going to be ready for any of it. They're not going to be ready for not having internet. They're really not. They're going to take them a while to get used to that. And luckily, all of them love to read and stuff like that. So that as soon as it happens, I'm gonna have them on some books, man. But then throw all this on top of it, like they're actually in a war zone. They're getting shot at. Man, I can't imagine.
Well, I can't imagine, honestly. Like, just I can speak for myself. I know, and I'm pretty positive I can speak for Native and Tribe on this. Prepping outside the box, man, is that I'm gonna say if we're that far into it already, things has happened, to that point, I'm gonna say that we probably already got a lot of stuff in place, like we're gonna be setting up, booby trap perimeters, setting up, escape routes and practicing on this stuff, and maybe even to your fallback location. Your initial fallback location, having some places that, you can get behind. We can put the kids, the wife, behind, that's going to be safe. That bullets ain't going to hit them. Kind of thing. I'm going to say that we're probably, what'd you say, 2 or 3 months in, or?
Yeah, you're making it through the winter. You started in the fall and you made it through a harsh. That's why you had the turmoil.
Right. Well, that's what I'm thinking, that we're probably already going to start we would have been working on this the whole time, and trying to acquire more resources already. I can't see, I know myself, and from what I know of Native and Tribe, I can't see us just sitting around going, well, shit, we're losing resources, man. You know what I'm getting at.
Well, yeah, you're not.
Let me ask y'all this real quick. And I have our special guest. He's backstage. I'm gonna bring him on. He's gonna throw a caveat to all of us. But anyway, let me ask y'all this. And I've thought about this before. If the major shift happens, like whatever it's gonna be, we don't know what's gonna happen yet. Whatever it is. Let's say it happens. Like we know this is it. There's no mistaking. Like martial law. EMP, China invades, whatever. The Yellowstone caldera explodes. Nukes are falling. The aliens have landed. There's a zombie apocalypse. Let's say all that goes down. What, like the first month? I've always said, like during the first month, we'll try to get what resources we can, but in that first month, there's going to be a huge die-off of people who just aren't prepared. Oh, yeah. So I would think like the first month or so, like most preppers are just going to kind of lay low and just see what happens before they go out to the world, because there's going to be mayhem. Like I'd like to think that's what's going to happen, but I don't know. What do y'all think?
No, I could see it. I mean, it'd have to be a very widespread event, obviously. Localized events and chaos recover,
Yeah.
And because there's hope on the other side, a localized area gets, stuff from other areas, and everyone's always trying to support each other in need. But something that drastic, a lot of people would die. That's why I would say that we need the power in the world to shut off, to have a true reset of everything and reset of power and stuff like that. But it's a morbid thing, because how many people rely on power to survive?
Right.
For medicine and everything. I just wanted to do
just basic hygiene, man. Just basic hygiene is going to kill more people than disease, than marauders, than anything. Just basic hygiene is going to kill, like dirty water. People, people filling up their toilets with poop because they don't have plumbing anymore. And pooping in the yard, and kids are stepping in it and tracking in the house, not washing their hands properly, and eating all kinds of germs. I think hygiene is going to be a major thing.
I wanted to take, because I mean, obviously you guys can do a lot more at a homestead. You're not going to be trapped that easily. I just wanted to take everybody out of their comfort zone, build a rapport with each other, and then shoot one of you. So you'd have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, have to deal with somebody that's not, because we always talk about like, oh, what are you going to do with your kids, and what are you going to do with your wife and stuff like that. And that's personally know that, but you start building something and have to deal with other families that you become connected with. I was just curious.
I hear you.
I wanted to hear. Y'all are awesome though.
That was a good one, man. Yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna bring on our special guest, if y'all are ready. He has a special scenario. It's a real world scenario that actually happened. Without further ado, we'll bring this brother on.
What up?
What up?
What's up?
What up? Do I sound good? I know I don't look good, but do I sound good?
5x5, 5x5.
All right.
You look great, man. But Nisi said the cowgirl.
Hey now. I had a couple videos for you, Native. I wasn't able to send it to you. Can I just so I uploaded them to my YouTube channel. Can I just send it to you in the private chat? You can just show them on the screen. Would that work?
Let's try it, man.
All right, cool. Give me a sec, y'all.
So while you're doing that, man, let me ask you, is this something that happened to you?
Yes, sir. When I was 17 years old.
All right. Now you told me in email that it's graphic.
Well, yeah.
Like, what did you mean?
Well, it was. Well, let me go see if you can play that first.
Yeah, I can play the
scenario.
Hold on. All right, I got it.
Okay, so, and then I'm gonna also give me 1 second, and I'm also gonna give you this just in case you got time to play it. Sorry if I look like a fucking goof. My face all up on the fucking.
Cool, man. I don't think there's nothing you can do about that, man. Just roll with it.
That's fucked up. All right, so the second one's the song I sent you. All right. Okay. So it's basically a situation that happened when I was 17 years old. Obviously, you guys know where I'm from. Tribe's probably the only one that actually has experienced where I'm from, so shit gets a little dicey in certain situations. I cannot incriminate myself here because the shit was when I was a kid, so I can share it with anybody.
All right, bet, man.
And is it for, hold on a second, is it for you, or is it for everybody, or is it for Backwoods?
I'll tell you what.
Very specific.
I know, right? Let's do this. Let's listen to your scenario, and then I'll go first, and then Backwoods, then Pop B,
okay.
Tribe, and then
all right. Well, the reason I asked is because I put Backwoods in it because I thought that's who it was for, because the way your email was kind of cryptic. So I thought you said Backwoods, but all right, it's for everybody then. That's fine.
I mean, I changed the format of the show at the last minute. It was
I appreciate it honestly, because you know what, it's gonna actually help me mentally. We'll talk about that later, but it'll help me.
All right, everybody ready? I might have to mute. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna have to mute my stuff, so put it up on my phone so I can hear it.
I'm gonna mute my mic so there ain't no background noise.
All right, we good. All right, everybody ready? Everybody in chat ready? Give it up for Ghetto Press right there. You excited to see Ghetto Prepper in the house tonight?
Press 1.
One.
Nobody says that like Tribe. All right, let's do this.
Okay, the scenario, August 1998.
I'm 17 years old. I'm sitting at home. My brothers and their mag show up, say, come on, let's go. We're having there's a party.
You doubled up, man.
You know, come on with us. I was like, man, I can't go. Y'all shouldn't go neither.
It's
Something
double
wrong
saying,
happening.
Native.
They tell me, okay, fine, stay. So I gotta go. I run to the gun safe. Reach in there to grab.
Native.
Bam! I'm hit
You got
with
to
like
mute yourself, brother.
spiritual panic attack situation.
I hear it.
You got to mute yourself.
I heard it. Where's it coming from?
Not only me that fuck things up, guys. Shit. Trying to make me sound all mumbly.
What do you? If you got it must be picking up on a mic that you got, Native, somehow.
Oh, was it me, maybe?
Nah, let me try it again.
I'm gonna mute again. Okay, the scenario, August 1998. I'm 17 years old. I'm sitting at home. My brothers and their mag show up, say, come on, let's go. We're having there's a party. You know, come on with us. I was like, man, I can't go. Y'all shouldn't go neither. Something wrong happening. They tell me, okay, fine, stay. Of course, I gotta go. Obviously, if I'm feeling something bad. I run to the gun safe, reach in there to grab. Bam! I'm hit with like a spiritual panic attack situation to where I can't even explain it. I shut the safe door real quick, ran and grabbed my knife collection, tossed it in my backpack, along with a crowbar. Boom, in the backpack. I'm off into the car. We show up to the house for the party. We're rolling like 5 deep. Backwoods. The setup is yours. The scenario is yours. You take my place as to what you're going to do. All you got to do is not end up the way I looked afterwards.
There you go. I didn't show all of them, but that was the two of the only ones I could show on YouTube.
So, go ahead.
I was just going to ask real quick, and this is kind of for you, Backwoods, but what situation are you going into? We're not sure what it's all about. Like, what are you running into?
That's exactly what I was going to ask, Tribe. Great question. Why are we arming up basically and going?
So we're arming up. I'm arming up. Y'all are arming up just on a spiritual presence that hit me before. As soon as my brother said, let's go to this party, and I don't know if y'all understand what I'm talking about, but
you got a gut feeling.
Needless to say, I had a gut feeling, and it was more of a spiritual panic attack. And that's also why I didn't go to the gun safe, because it was overwhelming to the point where that would have just been the worst. I mean, considering what we had in the safe, it'd have been real bad. So basically, we go to, and I don't know if you guys seen the text, but it was 5 deep, but it was 5 cars deep. Okay. And the other thing is it's my brother's friends. So it's his mag. And I'm following them because I felt, I needed to do it as a brother. And then, so basically the setup is we get to the house, and I know I'm not doing it the same way as y'all. And by the way, Backwoods, it's nerve fucking wracking that you got over 100 people sitting here listening to me. I'm not ready for this yet on YouTube, just so you know. Okay, it's still a little nervous.
I got
let that be out there.
You got it, man. You got it.
All right.
You got it. Yeah.
All right. So basically, we get to the house, and the gut feeling hasn't gone away, but I'm not like, you guys know how you get when you get over pumped with the adrenaline. It hasn't gone away. It's still there in the background, And so I go to the bathroom, but I bring one of my closer friends with me to the bathroom. He brought his girlfriend with him, and I pull out my backpack. I was like, look, man, I got this overwhelming feeling. The people that are here, which was weird because it was in a rich neighborhood. It was like almost a mansion, right? But we're from the other side of the tracks. And as Prepper Tribe could say, you know, the ones that are the scariest are the wannabes that are trying to prove themselves to their other homies. They were pretty much, you know, studio gangster type dudes.
Yeah.
And
reckless.
Yeah, exactly. So I go to the bathroom. I try to hand off a couple weapons to my friend and even his girlfriend. He's like, man, my girl's here. I'm like, man, here, give her one too, man. I'm telling you, something's about to go down. They leave the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom. This is where it starts, guys. I come out of the bathroom, and it's just like a hallway, living room, and then the kitchen with a sliding glass door. And then there's a patio on the other side of the glass door. So I hit the corner, go to back out in the patio, and there's my brother banging on the window, blood all over the sliding glass door, and this dude was holding the door closed while it was locked, so he couldn't get in the house. What do you do? Well, no, I'll just say, what do you do right there, and then I'll let you know as it goes, right? I'm trying to stay on point, guys. Sorry.
No, you good. All right, so you come out of the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
And you said you go down the hallway and there's a sliding glass door. You said there's blood everywhere, and someone's trying to hold the door to keep someone from coming in.
So there's blood all over the sliding glass door on the outside part.
Right.
And there's a guy in front of the door holding it closed, but it was locked as well. Not sure why he was even trying to hold it. And my brother was on the other side banging on it, trying to get it open. And he's got what ended up happening is they busted a 40-ounce bottle or some kind of beer bottle inside his chest. So he's got 5 or 6 wounds coming from right here, and it was just blood everywhere all over the door.
And you're on the side of the door with the dude who's holding the door.
With the dude holding it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit.
So the way I kind of want to do it, because I'm really interested in people like you know, with educated backgrounds. I would love to know how you guys would react, and right after you guys say how you're going to react, I'll tell you what I did, if that's all right, if we got time for that. Because psychologically, y'all, it kind of helped me.
How many people are in the house with you?
I don't know. I started getting tunnel vision as soon as that happened, but it was the only person I seen was the dude holding the door. There could have been people in the living room. I have no idea. There wasn't nobody trying to hurt me or, you know, anything like that. It's just the dude. But the dude didn't see me walking up neither.
I'm taking dude out. I can see my brother trying to get in this house. I know something's up, so I'm going upside dude's head. But I'm looking around. I'm seeing what's going on. But I'm immediately, because if my brother's standing outside that door, something's up, and it's go time.
And also remember, guys, there's 17 people with us, but that's where the caveat's going to come in, where it's going to be basically it's going to flip the script on you guys. Sure did with me.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out what exactly was the point of going. I mean, when your brother showed up, so basically
the point of going was my brother and them wasn't taking no for an answer, and they weren't listening to me because they was already drunk partying. So they weren't listening to my gut feeling, which, as we can all see, probably all been in a situation where it's like, oh, dude, you'll be all right. Ain't nothing going to happen. I'm the younger brother. They're all my older brothers. Well, the 2 of them are my older brothers. So there was no choice in me stopping them from going. And but at that point, with the way I was feeling backwards, there was no way on this earth that I wasn't going to go. I had to go because I knew something bad was going to happen. I had to protect my brothers. Not sure if you guys ever been in a situation like that, but it's multiple situations. But anyways, you just get an overwhelming feeling to where your family is in danger. You got to protect them. And they was already drunk. They wasn't even thinking nothing.
Well, I don't disagree with taking homeboy out, man. If your brother's outside and you can clearly see he's bleeding against the door. I mean, he's bleeding. He's trying to get in. I mean, dude at the door in between me and my brother. Yes, we're gonna have issues. You know what I mean? But before, one of the things I see, being at that age, you were really at a disadvantage at being at 17, because none of us at 17 years old was, as far along as we are now, yourself included. So that's a real hard scenario to talk about. And, my thought process now, is when I come out and I seen that, I'm looking around to see, am I even going to make it to the guy? You know what I'm getting at? Like as soon as I attack this dude, who's going to be on my back instantly? How far away are people from me? You see what I'm saying? That distance thing. And
and Backwoods, that's honestly what makes the difference of answering it right here and answering it in the situation. You get into tunnel vision. You got a target, you got a mission, you're trying to get to that mission and get it done. I mean, there's absolutely no time to think. There's no time to have anxiety. There's no time to panic. There's no time to, okay, what do I do? You see what's in front of you. I'm just saying on what, what I went through, what I experienced. I was just trying to get to my brother no matter what.
Right. Yeah. And I think that would be my first instinct. If I saw my brother on the other side of the door bleeding, I mean, that would be it. I would just want to go see what's going on with him first. So if someone's holding the door, like he's getting out of the way. Like I might not attack him, but I'm going to physically move him out of the way so I can get to my brother.
Yeah.
And see what's happening. Because obviously, it sounded like your brother was trying to get in and deal with someone who had hurt him. That's what it sounds like to me. But I can say, like, if I was 17 years old, I would have made some rash decisions right then and there. I might have busted something on that dude's head. I don't know.
I did.
Now, with age and stuff like that, I would be more reserved, and I would definitely get to my brother and see what's going on. And I wouldn't just let my brother rush in either. If I opened the door, I would see, man, look, you're bleeding. What's going on? Tell me what happened. What are we doing?
Well, hold on a second, Tribe. Or Native. Hold on 1 second. POTB, you in agreement with that one, right? I mean, I imagine so.
I mean, to an extent. When I was 17, I was a $145 soaking wet. So there was. I mean, I was in fights and stuff like that, but it wasn't like.
You still all right? Remember, guys, you still have a bag of weapons on your back, so it's in your hand because you just got done trying to give some of your weapons to your friends. You still got a backpack full of knives and a crowbar.
I mean,
sorry if y'all didn't know that.
Well, I'm saying you just left the bathroom with other people, right?
No, they had left. So they left before me. I have no idea where they went, but I'll let you guys know where they went here in a second as soon as we get to my brother.
Well, I mean, if it was a family member I was trying to get to, I would like to say that when I was 17, I would have tried to take like the hilt of that knife or something like that and bounce the dude's head off the freaking glass just to get to my brother. And then I probably would have left with him. I wouldn't have stayed to talk it out or anything because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if that's all I saw was one person blocking away, that would have been that would have been my first thought was to bounce the dude's head off the glass so he's disoriented, open the door, and then take my brother and try it. I guess you could say.
Yeah. So what I did, and is it all right if we roll this way, Native?
Yeah, man. Roll with it.
Mm-hmm. And so what I did, it's easier for me. I ain't jumbling because it's like, man, I got vivid pictures of the shit. I ain't got to write it down or nothing. Anyways, so basically what I did was I pushed the dude out the way, unlocked the door, and slammed the door open, dragged him in the house. Mind you, I didn't see anybody in the house. I don't know if there was anybody in the house, but nobody was attacking me from in the house. So what happened is I pulled him in the house, and he's already in shock or whatever. He already knows he was stabbed. I have no idea what happened. Mind you guys, he's the one that fucking started the fucking fight in the first place. This is my second oldest brother. Now, as soon as I got him in the house perfectly fine, where's my other brother at? Because I have one more older brother. I wasn't even thinking about the people that were with us. I thought they were fighting the people that were outside. It only made sense to me, right? That's the mag, right? You got to expect that they're doing, they're putting it down, right? I think we can all agree on that, right?
Right.
Should be.
Okay, so what happens when you fucking get outside and you realize that you had 15 motherfuckers run away from the scene as soon as the blood started flying? Right? So all you see is a whole entire group of people, and you didn't know if it was your brother under it, but it only made sense because there's a pile of people that's doing some real bad harm to your oldest brother. You're trying to talk to your other brother like, where's Whoopty-Whoop at? Where's he at? He's not answering. So again, I went with my gut, and I expected him to be under that pile. Noticed everybody else is gone. Find out the person I was helping in the bathroom, he actually hit the door, went and told his other friends, and they started running before the shit even happened, I guess. But all right, so anyway, so you open the door, you get out to the patio, you see this pile of people on top of somebody that you think is your brother, and we'll just go ahead and say that it was my brother, just to help out the situation. What do?
Crowbar.
You got a backpack with a crowbar and we'll say butcher knives because I'm not going to go down the line of knives that I was collecting, but we'll just say butcher knives, serrated, all kinds of double-edged stuff like that.
Right. Well, I mean, it would depend. Like, what's the goal? You know what I'm saying? Like,
the goal is to get whoever's under the pile of people because he's under there dying. Like, you don't know. Like, I'm going to tell you straight up. It was a straight gut type feeling like I know somebody's there. Like, those are the parts that are kind of blurry.
So
they've always been blurry, but I knew he was there and I knew that's where the target was. The target is to get the person up under like 10 to 15 people.
So what you're trying to say is your brother was the one under the pile and there was people actively on there, like kicking, hitting, whooping the piss out of it.
Yeah, using weapons, using everything they can to kill this person. Yeah.
Crowbar time happens. I mean, that's that to me, that's your strongest weapon. I know a knife, you can do a lot of damage, but someone, I mean, I don't know, the crowbar to me just seems like it's not something that, breaks, not something that, your hand gets a little bloody because, if you stab somebody, your hand's going to get bloody. The knife could hang on their clothing. It comes out of your hand. Now you're with nothing in your hands. I'm thinking a crowbar is something that I can get some good grip on and get a little distance with it, because the crowbar is decently long. I mean, see, the difference in this is that you're talking about something that actually happened to you when you were 17 and you're trying, hold
on a second, Backwoods, 1 second. As Prepper Tribe, I mean, because I don't know the rest of you, I kind of get a sense of what Prepper Tribe is. So growing up the way we grew up, we kind of grew up a little bit faster than maybe other people when they were 17 years old. This isn't even my first situation that I had to deal with from people on the other side of the color line, if that makes sense, from the other side of the gang type stuff. So I understand what you mean, Backwoods. I really do, because obviously I'm a different man as an adult, but already at 17, I was already doing, you know what I mean? I was already old enough to know combat type situations, whether it was with certain tools. I'm not going to incriminate myself all the way. Unfortunately, and I don't glorify it with nobody. So I seen a couple comments. I didn't go there for a fight. I didn't do that. I went there to back up my brothers because they were going anyways. There was no stopping them from going to the situation. So I was the little brother, and I was just kind of trying to stay in the shadows, hoping nothing happened.
So I mean, did you go there knowing that? I mean, I know you said you had a gut feeling.
I didn't know shit. I knew the situation because it was the richer neighborhood, and we had just started going to school with these same people that was having the party. Because we had just moved over from the other side of the track, and we were going to school with these people. But they're like, "Oh no, man, it's just going to be a bunch of women and all that." But it's like, man, it's their neighborhood. Of course, they're going to end up showing up or something like that. And my brothers, and they all, that's not even a problem. They're not going to show up. It's just so and so and so. This is the party type of thing. So I mean, there was a potential that it could have happened, but it was more so that, when you just go into a party, you're just trying to get women and drink and have fun.
Right.
So can I ask just, I mean, like I was saying before, I was a $145 sickle wet and probably stoned at 17. So my fighting was always like fists and stupid fights. It wasn't, gang violence. But
Should have been a fist fight.
Whatever. I mean, yeah. Anyways, can I ask what happened?
Y'all want me to just finish it up, or because there was only 2 more spots that I was just asking y'all's opinion.
Well, I do want to peep in on something.
Yeah.
I know one thing that I would do is I would, like, if I'm walking out that door, I see them people on my brother, and my other brother sitting there at the damn table, and he's a little cut up, but he's, he good enough to stand at this door and knock on it. I would tell him to get his fucking ass up and get the fuck out here with me. We need to save our fucking family. And
Yes.
I would give him a fucking weapon out of the fucking bag, and I would run into that. I mean, we're talking about family. You cannot watch your family. I got 2 older brothers. There's no way I can sit there and watch. I mean, I'm going down with them. They ain't, especially when I was younger. I was a lot more hot-headed when I was younger, so there ain't no question about it. We all gonna die out this motherfucker, and I'm taking a couple of these motherfuckers with me, but they coming up off my brother.
Yeah.
And my other brother better get on his feet. And I don't care if I'm the younger one, man, because in that situation, you ain't bound. It's get the hell up, man. If I'm going out here, you going out here, and I'm going out here.
That's how it should have been. And I was basically saying, come on, we got to get him. But he was completely disorientated. Mind you, they were shit-faced drunk as well. I mean, they was drunk. I didn't even get a chance to drink. I didn't even get to I didn't drink at all. I was sober as fuck. So, I mean, unless you want, I mean, if you're on a time crunch or something, I could just say the rest of it, and then you guys can, do bullet points on it, if that'll make it easier. I mean, there's just...
Yeah, what happened, man? What happened? What ended up happening?
Yeah, tell us the story.
I was liking the going slower part. All right, so... Give me a second, y'all. I'm going to say it. But, all right, so. Is this all right, man?
Oh, you good.
There's a few spots and that's another thing that people don't understand is certain situations kind of stay with you for a little bit. All right, so what happened was I knew my brother was under there. I got in my bag. I did not get the crowbar. I put 2 good-sized knives in each of my hands. So I had one in each of my hands, and I started swinging downwards. So basically, I started cutting them down until I got to my brother. And the way I was doing it, as soon as people noticed what I was doing, they were running because they were scared as shit, because I was absolutely covered in, I don't know how many types of blood and situations like that, right? So I get to my brother, I pick him up, he looked perfectly fine. So, sorry, I just got a hard time going through that specific spot. So I'm able to pick up my brother, and I get him in the house. Now my other brother's absolutely fucking disappeared. Now I'll say this right now: my other brother's a little fucking bitch, and I'll just go ahead and say that I didn't say it to his whole fucking face. I got no idea where he went. Motherfucker disappeared like Houdini. So he was obviously all right enough to do something. But anyways, he disappeared. My oldest brother, he was still down. He was like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. I did not know there was anything wrong with my older brother. You know, I'm still hyped up. There's blood everywhere because it's like, I mean, it is what it is. We hit the front door, right? We go out the front door. All of a sudden, there's glass raining down on us. We had no idea, and we both looked at each other like, "What the fuck?" Well, there's a tree right on the front porch, right? Well, you know, as soon as you walk out the front porch, there's little trees. These motherfuckers were throwing throwing bottles at us, and they was exploding on the tree. So it was like glass, and there was, you know, because we started feeling actual bottles come by our head. So we figured that part out. We looked down. There's a bunch of rocks, like the riverbed rocks. You know, you guys know what the hell riverbed rocks are. So he was like, "Oh man, grab the rocks." Excuse me, y'all. So he's like, "Grab the rocks." I'm like, "All right, man, let's grab the rocks." Again, I didn't know nothing was wrong with him. There wasn't nothing wrong with me. I didn't even get hurt yet. Boom, we're throwing them. It's like a war. So basically, what I'm assuming is the leftover people from in the backyard had made it to the front yard, right? And we're in a cul-de-sac, so it's all blocked off. So they made it to the front yard, and you guys know what a cul-de-sac is with the driveway and all that. They're in the middle of the street in the cul-de-sac just chucking shit at us, and we're throwing it back. My brother's throwing it. I look up, and he's got. Well, I ain't got to take my shirt off, but I look up and he's cut from this side of his ribs all the way to this side, with this side completely hanging down. So essentially, if he wasn't bleeding so much, I would have probably seen his rib. But I look up, I'm like, oh, I said his name. I was like, oh man, you cut bad. You bad. And he's like, what? Keep throwing rocks. And as soon as he looked down, bam, he hit the ground. There was no nothing. I mean, he just hit the ground. As he was hitting the ground, I realized that he had a steak knife in the back of his shoulder blade when he hit the ground. Dang. So I'm right here. What's wrong with me yet? And I'm like, it felt like fucking forever, but it took me a good 10, 15 seconds at least. I'm thinking time don't kind of exist when you're like that. But I was like, all right, God, guide me. I grabbed my brother. I put him on my shoulder, and I started walking towards the people. Now, mind you, everybody had ran. Everybody had left. As I was walking my brother out towards the crowd of people, our big homie rolled back up. He realized that we weren't with them, everybody else, when they ran. So again, spiritual, supernatural type of situation, if you ask me. But he rolled up through the crowd as I was walking my brother out. I mean, I was humping him. I was fucking carrying his ass out because he was out. I mean, he basically lost consciousness by then, I think. Something. I mean, he was gone. I put him in the car. All of a sudden, I feel sharp pains down my arms and my side, which later I figure out that's when they started stabbing me. And I turned back around. These motherfuckers ended up getting my backpack while I was putting him in the car. I didn't even notice anybody touching me or doing anything while I was getting him in the car. Because again, it's like tunnel vision. There's a tunnel vision factor that people really don't understand. But, get the mission done. Here, get him in the car. They took the crowbar out of my backpack and used my own weapons against me, motherfuckers. So that's why when you look at the picture, you'll see like the perfect lines of a crowbar because that's why I look like a fucking gecko now. but it completely destroyed my eye and shattered my, my whole prettiness, my whole beautifulness. But so I got him in the car, shut the door, turned around. They're already hitting me on the right side with whatever they was hitting me with, and I turned around to try to flee, do something, and that was when, bam, they just started hitting me with the crowbar. I was knocked the fuck out. I have no idea what they were doing for me then. I can only know just by what happened with my body. I was stabbed down my arm and in my side, and all kind of scrapes, and my face was all jacked up. So what happened was, I got beat right there. All of a sudden, a block and a half away from the whole entire situation, pounding on somebody's door for them to let me in the house, because I know I'm doing real bad, but I don't even know how the hell I even got to that situation. I have no idea what happened from the time I got hit in the head to the time I got to this house. And the big homie was right there, not even a half a block away, with the car honking the horn saying, "Come on, come on, come on." My other brother was in the back seat with my older brother. So we all jumped. So I ran and jumped in that car. I still to this day have no idea how they even all got together in the car. Got in the car. We, started going 100 and something miles down the road. Police pulled us over because, the big homie's trying to get us to the hospital, obviously. Police pulled us over because they were on their way to the party. So they come out, not guns blazing, but, everybody with their gun. We kind of all fell out the car. Like, don't shoot. We already having a fucked up night. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. That's when the ambulance came, and then we basically got into the hospital, and the cops kind of had to lock me up because they're same people was in the same hospital, which Lord knows why the doctor was telling me, well, we got all these other people over here too, which was stupid. Right. But so that's the situation. And what followed after that was I ended up stabbing 13 people and got charged with 13 counts of attempted murder and was facing 105 years. When I was 17, the gang task force leader came and got me out of my juvie cell because they had me just basically for questioning about the situation. The reason they were trying to get me to whatever. And it's like, man, I was in a situation. I didn't want to be in the situation. It was life or death. You can see it through the pictures. You can see it through the situation. Basically, but basically he took me to the side. He's like, look, you guys were at a very affluential neighborhood. They didn't want the court stuff to go. As an adult, I already know why, because, we could have sued the fuck out of them because it was a situation that happened inside a fucking real rich ass neighborhood, rich ass house. But so basically they kind of shoved it under the rug after about 4 or 5 more hours of interrogation. But the gang task force, he was like, look, I'm going to write a recommendation for you, because he was trying to say we instigated. It was like, man, it was 3 against like 23. You're telling me that 3 of us did? He's like, well, I mean, there was a lot of damage done to them, their side being, 23, whatever. I was like, well, I mean, I'm not glorifying it or nothing, but, So anyways, I was let off. I ain't never been to jail. Chat. I definitely learned my lesson.
Man. Hey, brother. Hey, thank you for sharing your story with us, man. I don't know if you told this before on other people's live streams, but I appreciate you sharing your story.
It was just in a backstage type thing, like with Backwoods and I think Silverback, but not too many people know that.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate y'all letting me have it out.
I tell you what, though, man. I tell you what, you brought a lot of good points. Like you were saying how you had been stabbed and you didn't realize it and stuff. And I bet Pop B and probably Tribe and Backwoods and a lot of you guys in chat can corroborate this, man. When stuff goes down and your adrenaline is pumping so bad and you're in a dangerous situation with life and death and you have injured people that you care about and you're trying to get them out of the situation, when your adrenaline's at a certain point, man, you can have all kinds of injuries and you not know it, and I mean, I've been through that, man. I've taken shrapnel. I was in a Humvee that rolled down a hill one time, and I was in the gunner's turret, when it happened. And I got all hurt and banged up, and I didn't even know it till the next day. I could barely walk. I hurt my back, my knee. I got a TBI. But when your adrenaline's going like that, it's like you're a superhuman for a short time period.
Yeah. It's like tunnel vision, you know, like you just got your target and you're getting that done while you're just nothing can mess with you.
Yeah.
It took me getting hit with a crowbar to be knocked out to even stop doing what I was doing.
Yeah, man. No doubt.
So I don't know time wise, but I would love to hear somebody's, like, how would you deal with it different sitting on a panel talking to people about scenarios? Does that make sense? Because I try to, because it's so much harder just sitting here talking with a bunch of people than when you're actually in a situation. And I think we can all realize that, you know.
Well, I mean, my personal opinion, I really believe that you did what you thought was necessary at the time. You know, I don't know that, you know, even at my age, I don't know that I would do much different. You know, I mean, at my age and some of the stuff I've learned and things over the years, you know, anytime I leave this house, I always want to know who all's around me. I mean, if you ever can watch me walk across the parking lot, I'm like this, you know, I'm always looking, I'm always paying attention to everything going on. You know, at 17, no, I wasn't doing that. You know, I was worried about trying to get laid and get high. I mean, I ain't gonna lie about it. You know, that's 17.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm still trying to do that. What you talking about?
Right.
But Lady Smith, unfortunately, I got photogenic memory, which is a blessing and a curse.
Oh, well, no doubt, I bet.
But that's the whole thing. I mean, you know, it's your family, your brothers, you know, and I mean, I think you, especially at 17 years old, I think you probably did the best that you could do. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing was getting that many people off of one person, you know, your brother.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, damage has to be done at that point because they're damaging him.
Yeah.
And I want to say this too, man, and like Ghetto Prepper is sharing something that happened in his own life, his own lifetime. And Tribe said this before too. There's people in this country who are already living a shift. Their everyday life is in a shift because of where they live in our country, man. And I'm always talking about these inner cities that are controlled in these blue states, man. They are living in shift, man. Look at Chicago, Chirac, man. Every day people getting murdered and the government doesn't care. They're trying to cover it up. I mean, these people are living in shift, man. They're trying to figure out how to get food on the table and how to get their kids, you know, to and fro without getting shot by a stray gang bullet. And like we're talking about these shift scenarios, and they're living it right now.
Yeah, and the way I see it, I mean, if you don't mind me saying, the way I see it is the middle class and the upper middle class, and even, you know, the upper class are finally, I mean, it's different situations now, but you guys are finally getting to see what the ghettos have been seeing since fucking before I was born. But even like the trailer trash, you know what I mean? Like even it's always been economical for me. It's never been a color thing.
Right.
It's always been economical.
Not just the inner cities, poor.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The
poverty of America has always seen the entities that we're looking at right now. They've always seen them as them motherfuckers that are controlling us. How do we get out of it? What do we do? They've always been in that situation.
I think
Okay.
I think Pop B was wanting to say something a second ago too about this.
Oh, well, I mean,
yeah.
I go shoot. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I welcome it. I honestly, you know, man to man, I honestly feel like I need to hear from other men like what they think they would do, or, you know, type of thing. If that makes sense.
It's nothing that I would have done back then. Like I said, 17. I grew up, you know, redneck. You know what I mean? Farm kid. So we didn't have that kind of violence. We had, you know, brawls and fist fights and stuff at school, like stupid shit that kids do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But knowing now, if I knew then what I knew now, only thing I would add just for people going forward, if they ever have to deal with like traumatic, anything like that happens, is never remind or never highlight to a person how bad or what their injury is, because it can cause people to go.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Man,
I'm not saying
it
like,
made me drop. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm just
I
saying,
agree
yeah.
with you.
And that's obviously at 17, like I said, I was high and soaking wet, $145, man. It's not like I was. I wasn't born into a violent area, you know. I kind of learned it as I went through my career, you know.
Yeah,
no doubt, man. I tell you what, man, poor folks have experiences, and a lot of people don't. I grew up in a single wide. It was a used single wide on the edge of a swamp. I still have nightmares. I used to wake up in the middle of the night as a 7-year-old kid, and there'd be like a cockroach chewing on my hair, man.
man.
I'll never forget that. A big, like, and I'd be like, to this day, man, I can't stand the cockroach because of that.
I'd burn this house down if I found one. I'm telling you right now. I don't give a fuck.
It ain't fun.
Don't go to Hawaii, man. Cockroaches there are like ants. They're everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Man, my mom hates for me to tell people that. She said, "Don't be telling people we have roaches." Like, Mom, we did, and it was traumatic, and I'm sorry that we lived that way. It's not your fault, but it happened, and I'm sharing it because it's not fun.
Yeah, it's not.
You know.
And the caveat that Big Chap said, I appreciate for him reminding me. The whatever it was before we actually went, the spiritual panic, whatever it was, I have no idea. I thank God every single day because my kids wouldn't be here, and I definitely would be in prison if I would have went into that gun safe. Because we're not talking just, I mean, we're talking fully automatic things that could have just took care of the situation quicker than shit. If that makes any sense to anybody. Like, I mean, obviously it does, but I mean, just imagine you see your brother stabbed and then you shoot up a whole party. I mean, dude, I'd have been gone forever. You know what I mean? So that's why I say it was more of a spiritual thing to stop me from, you know.
Yep.
Oh, I got you, man. We feel you on that, brother. Man, I tell you what, fellas, I hate to cut this short, man, but it's that time. We're at 2 hours, 17 minutes. But man, I appreciate you coming on, Ghetto, and sharing this, like I said, with us, man, and making us think a shift in a way that's more real, because this actually happened, and this probably stuff that's happening on a daily basis in different parts of our country, just like we were talking about. But I appreciate y'all hanging out. I appreciate Backwoods, man. I appreciate your scenario, man. Pop B always bringing the good hits and the good caviars. Tribe, man, I appreciate you, brother. Bringing that real world experience. Hooking me up with some beats.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
appreciate everybody.
Chad, I appreciate y'all hanging out with us for this long, man. Man, y'all. Man, I tell you what, man, this community, people bees in our chats, man, are the greatest people in the world. I just been reading y'all's chats, and I just appreciate all y'all. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, I got it. So that'll help me get views, I guess. I made a song about the exact situation, and I got it uploaded on my channel because I was going to pass it to you if you wanted to play it anytime. But actually, that'll help me get viewers. So everybody go over to my channel and listen to the song that I made about it. I made it like 15 years ago, so you know it sounds crappy, but it's got the message.
No doubt.
You survived, brother. You survived. Press one.
Right? Right.
Yeah. No,
You're a survivor, man.
Actually.
You're a survivor.
No.
Yeah, definitely check out Ghetto, man. He started his channel. He's going to be dropping videos like 10 a day. Can't wait.
No. I'm going to wait on the live stream stuff, too, because that shit gets kind of nerve-wracking sometimes.
You'll do great, man. You'll do great. Anyway, man, I hope to see you guys tomorrow morning at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you can't make it, man, be part of the Reload Replay gang. Thanks to Bug Dude, man. Shout you out, brother.
Thank you, Nisi.
Appreciate it, Nisi. Nisi dropped the link. All right, man. Y'all have a good night. Try you go play us out, man. You go play us out.
Y'all have a good night.
We don't have it hooked up, but I got a little something in store, man. We can go old school on them.
All right, bro. Oh, snap.
Oh shit.
Y'all have a good night.